So we'll just use, I'm gonna have both screens going. Okay, okay. So the thing of it is, when it comes to down payment assistance, closing assistance, most of the people that you'll see out here in these streets, the thing is, USDA is an option. That's for rural territory, so it's very subject to where the house is. I actually live in a USDA territory. I'm in Acton, Maryland, and when people hear it, they say, "Oh my God, it's so far. How do you live out there?" And I'm like, I'm 30 minutes from downtown DC. That's not rural to me. There's some other rural areas that could really qualify. But what I'll say is, being a veteran is another option to get a zero down loan. More so, you'll see closing assistance programs that are out there. For us in Maryland, it's the Maryland Mortgage Program. It gives people a nice help. But I tell people all the time, and the other piece is, all money ain't free. It's not free. The fact that you're being given this large sum of money to help you purchase a home, sometimes it does cost you something, and by way of the percentage, the APR that they're charging you. So if you're going to pay, from my understanding, the Maryland Mortgage Program right now, even though you can get anywhere 15,000 and up, you're going to pay 8%. So if you're thinking 7 is horrible, 6 is horrible, 8 is crazy to you right now. That's like out of control. But that's what they have, and that's what they're offering for you to get that money. So do you have a couple of dollars saved up and you just wanted to save it to, put furniture in the house? Well, do you want to pay the 8%? Do you want to go and jump in? Because it's different to try to refinance out of the MMP program. It's not as simple as a straight loan. You really have to wait a little bit. You can't just jump out of it. There's some conditions, and you have to find out what those conditions are. If any of my lender friends are on here, definitely could jump in and break it down for you. I don't know what Billy Saunders is tonight because he's usually on TikTok and he's paying attention, but he can definitely answer that to clarity. Because I'll tell you this, as a real estate agent, I stay in my lane. Ain't nobody else driving in it, and that's where I stay and mind my business. If it's too much and it's over my clarity, my education, I get a skim of everything. Then I give it to my professionals, my contact people, my lenders, my title people, my insurance people. I reach out to them to get the real true answers to the things that you guys are asking. I don't want to give you any false information and goes over your head. But go back to this Wells Fargo program we just heard about today. They're giving you $10,000 towards your down payment. Amazing, cool. Guess what? The kick is you have to be approved with conventional. So in speaking to their lender that was on site, being approved for a conventional is not the typical loan that most of our Claudia, I got to get you that information. There was a number of places like Minnesota, Maryland, DC, Virginia. I think it's in my truck. I'm so sorry. I will get that information. I meant to text you, send you a message on TikTok earlier this week. And the 10th, here's the kicker though, Claudia, listen to this. They're giving you $10,000 towards the down payment. They're giving you $10,000 towards the down payment. Let me get it right. But you must have the down payment. You must have the down payment in your account. They can't qualify you based off of the $10,000 they say they're giving you. So you have to have the money accessible to get the approval. Then you can use the money at closing however you see fit. But you gotta have it there. So my conversation with the that sounds the way it is. That was my point as well, Claudia. They're matching the money, and my question to them was, we got a lot of people in the FHA world that are 450 and below. They actually need money. That's what's stopping them from purchasing a home. They got the credit score where they need it to be. We could ask the seller for help if we were creative in our approach and all those things. But sometimes it's a couple more $1,000s that they're just missing in between. And this is why it's so easy for people to go get another apartment, rent another townhouse or what have you, because they're missing that little bit of money. So this stipulation kind of throws it off for me. And it's based off of Like in my area, the max is 172,000 in the household, or whoever is qualifying for the loan. That's a nice salary in this area. That really would get somebody a nice home for people who don't exceed that number to get this money. But and it's based on census data where the houses would qualify. So it's a little less zoned out like USDA would be, because USDA is an amazing product for zero down payment. But if you do not have the money sitting in an account, now do you have someone that can gift you the money for a little bit and you switch them off and just hold the money in the account for a little bit? Is that an option? What are the options that you can do to put this money in the account to qualify for the $10,000? And then they have another piece that can qualify 5,000 towards your closing help. So there's some money out there to be had with Wells Fargo. I would love to get one of the ladies on with me on TikTok to discuss this program in depth. But I did have some questions, and we're supposed to get back together to further discuss how we can truly help people that really need it. So if we got people out here that need it, and they're not conventional buyers, and they don't have gobs of money just sitting in accounts, even 401ks for that matter, how can we do this? Let's see. We can get Justine in here. So that's just something that we were presented today, and I thought it was super interesting. Redfin. I know people who do Redfin. I know people who do Redfin. They a couple of agents said that's another source of income for them to work with Redfin. They left NAR. Oh, you gotta get on the screen. Let me see if I can send you an invite, Claudia.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to look up. Oh goodness.
Let me see if I can invite Claudia. I want to talk about that. That's interesting. It's been a long day. I am tired. I need a nap. I didn't get a nap. That's what I need. I really need a nap. Like, I really need that nap. That nap would be amazing right now. I really need that nap right now. That would be awesome. It's 7:00 here in Maryland, so I'm probably not gonna come back out and talk to nobody. Hey, Claudia. So
there was an article in Pinder, and it came out 2 days ago, and the CEO of Redfin is saying we are no longer going to be associated with NAR. Well, that's huge because most of the MLSs across the country in all the states are connected to NAR. You join NAR, you get access to the MLS, so on and so forth. So that means, though, those Redfin agents, it's different look at me, I got glasses. It's different in each state, but in my state, the most Redfin agents, they'll book the appointment. They never show up to their showings. They never show up to anything. And then you compensate them. An actual Redfin agent, not the sub-agents from other companies that get their leads. So they left NAR as of December 1st. So now they think, and the reason they're saying is they claim something about the CEO of NAR, how he was being charged with harassment or something to that effect.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and call BS on.
Yeah.
And maybe he didn't think this through, but most of the MLSs, if you're not a member of that state's MLS, you have to compensate them. So now you're going to, every single Redfin agent MLS that's not a part of NAR have to be compensated. And I'm not sure if he thought that one through yet.
Well,
we've got so many changes going on simultaneously. It's mind-boggling.
Well, here's my thing, though. This is the haha funny. I feel like, what do they call them? Interrupters. And they come in and they throw these wrenches out and everybody's all in a tizzy about them. And then all of a sudden, they fade away. Like when Zillow said, "Oh, we're getting into real estate. We're going to take over," and everybody was like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" And then they faded away because they overpriced for houses, and then they were stuck with all the damn houses. They overpaid.
Well, that was one portion. And coincidentally, I was reading about Zillow. Zillow hasn't posted a profit in 7 months.
Exactly.
But goes to Zillow. They cannot keep, their algorithm cannot keep up as of right now with the pace of real estate, because I've had so many clients go to Zillow, and when they go to Zillow, oh, it says I can get 325, and I turn around and I got them 375. And I'm like, they are not on top of their game. Their algorithm just cannot keep up with what's going on a day to day. But yeah, when I read that, it was on with Inman News, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, do those agents know they're not going to get compensated? That's number one. And number two, should I be recruiting?
Definitely. To teach you how to truly sell real estate, because it's so broken up at that company. From my understanding, you got buyers agents that you got people that show houses. I don't even call them a buyer's agent because they don't even write the contract. They just show houses.
I got a story to tell you. I just literally within the last 48 hours, I became the subject, in other words, the victim of a potential procuring cause case. So I'm actually glad you guys are on, because I want to run this by you and hear your thoughts on it. Because procuring cause is pretty much the same state to state. You know, who is the procuring cause? So I had a client.
Your friend?
She's talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay. So I'm running this. So let me run the scenario by you. I had a client. Okay. Now it wasn't just any client. I met her, believe it or not, through TikTok, and she wanted to start doing staging. Me personally, I am all about women-owned businesses. I'm all about, small businesses, people starting out. I always give people chances. That is just who I am. So I was like, you know what? Stage a property for me. She said, oh, but we want to buy a house. She originally came to me because she was going to buy a house. But I talked to her, I'm like, hey, if you're really good at design, you should do staging. So I allowed her to do a beautiful condo I had listed on the east side of Providence. Ready? The east side of Providence, which is the Brown University area. You know what I mean? Brown. It's in Brown and Rhode Island School of Design. It's the Ivy League area. So anywho, I got her qualified for a mortgage. It was difficult to do, but I got her qualified. Her and her husband and her two kids qualified for mortgage. I found the house. I showed them the house. I wrote up an offer on the house. They signed agency disclosures, submitted everything to the listing agent on the house, and they went with another offer. Okay. I'm like, no harm, no foul. We'll find something else. In the meantime, I'm selling this one property, and it sells, and I pay her. And I didn't hear anything about it. So yesterday, I find out I was about to pay her on another property she staged for me. So I was like, I'll just drop it in the mail. Okay, great. Well, I forgot to drop it in the mail, so I figured I'd go by her home, and I would bring it to her. I went there, and I dropped it in the mailbox, and I looked, and I'm like, oh, she cleaned up the yard. Nice. She was renting. And then days go by, she's like, I didn't get your check. And I'm like, what do you mean you didn't get my check? I hand-delivered it. I came to put it in your mailbox. And she's like, well, it's not there. I'm like, okay. I'm like, now I'm panicking. I'm like, because it was a nice fat check for a staging. I'm like, shit. So I go to my bank, pay $35 for a stop payment. And I'm like, something is odd. She's been acting very cranky and very odd to me. Very odd. Then I go on TikTok. And sometimes says people you may know. This thing called Glen Family Estate, where she's fixing up a property. This is what happened. 28 days after I submitted that offer, this is what I don't know what happened. Either that property came back on the market, either A, she called them directly, or they called her directly. That house that I submitted the offer on Yes. Ask me how much I lost. $10,640. I was given business to. And now I finally sent her. I was so mad. I was so mad because I've been doing this for 24 years. You know, we get our stabbed in the back and our throats cut periodically. I mean, it just happens in this industry. There's sludge everywhere. Had it been on the other foot, if I was the listing agent and that person called me, and I knew that this offer came in from another agent, you bet your ass I would have called that other agent and be like, hey, your client's calling me. But that's not what happened.
Wow.
I haven't contacted your dad because it just so happens, and they don't know this, but my hubby's also an attorney. So I'm just like, well, things are going to be a little easier for me. But anyways.
That's crazy.
Ever. So she said to me, hey, did you drop my check in? Where's my check? So I replied to her this time. I said, it's come to my attention that you're now living at 16 William Street in Rehoboth. Just so you know, it cost me that has screwed me out of $10,640. I have a case based on Massachusetts law that I am procuring cause. Response was, what does that have to do with me and what you owe me?
And to still be staging. How crazy is that? Like, ma'am.
So wait a second. So I was being nice. I was calling her, like, hey, can you come stage this property with me? Da, 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 da. All the while, she knew. I went to her house. She knew I was dropping off that check.
Didn't dawn on her.
Yeah, it didn't say a word. The fact that she didn't disclose to me, because you know something, here's how I am. Had she come to me and said, Claudia, I want that property. It is the home of my dreams, and I think I can get it. I might have to cut you out of the deal. You know what? I would probably go for that. But you know what? It's the home of your dreams. I will fucking help you through it no matter what.
That's crazy.
Yes. She kept it away from me. She lied to me. And now she's mad. And here's the other thing. I got damaged in this property because she didn't hang a clock right. She had a very heavy, like one of those wooden Pure One Imports clocks. It was very, very heavy. Dumbass, we hung it on the wall with one tiny nail. Well, the damn thing fell on her console table, crushed her console table, fell on the floor, and the arms came off of it. And she's telling me I'm liable to fix her damaged stuff. And I'm like, don't you? And at the time, I was like, you know what? I feel terrible about that. But number one, she was negligent for putting the nail in. But number two, don't you fucking have insurance? Don't you have insurance? No, I don't have insurance. So now I'm going to pay for her damages, pay for her staging, and be out $10,640. Saying it's a separate issue that I'm unprofessional and I'm abhorrent. And I was like, are you sure that's not, a little bit of self-reflection there? I was like, you know what? And Frank's my hubby. He always says, you're too nice. You're too damn nice to people. And I am. But now let's go back to the Century 21 agent that just pulled this on me. She had an agency disclosure. She had a signed offer with their signatures attached with me to it. 21 days later, why wouldn't you come back? And I get it. I'm probably not going to get anything, but oh boy, am I going to ruffle feathers.
What was the point? Because you probably can do double side in your estate.
And double end, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, you can double in your state because we can't do it here. In Maryland, we can. DC and Virginia, yes, but not in Maryland. You can't double in.
So, pay $10,000 more. That was the commission.
That's crazy.
But all she had to do was tell me about it. All she had to do was be honest.
Yeah.
All she had to do was be like, hey, I really want this house. It's the house of my dreams. I can blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I would have been like, you know what? No worries. Let's figure this out. I would have helped her along with it.
Because my thing was, who for you to have an agency agreement with her, how long was the agency agreement for?
Well, that's just it. Our agency agreement is actually, I take it back. It's for that particular property only. even if she said, you know what, Claudia, I think you suck. I want another agent. I would have been like, okay, you know what I mean? Fine. At least you're being honest. And I disagree, but at least you're being honest. You know, and I would have been like, okay. But then she would have been off the hook.
Yeah, she'd been off the hook then.
But it's like 21 days after a property that I showed, that I wrote up, that I was negotiating back and forth with that hideous agent. And somebody warned me about this agent. I'm just like, oh, I've been around. Fuck her. I know. You know what I mean? She's not that bullshitting. Oh, she did.
Oh, she did. No, she did. I had an agent call me a couple weeks ago. She had listed a property, and her intent was to, she was trying to list the property. And I think when the relationship first started, it was a flip. She said, this is where I think you should list the house. They said, no, this is where we want to list the house. And it was much higher. House didn't move, house didn't move, house didn't move. Sit. What are we going to do? Retire to paying these bills. We're going to retire to paying these bills, retire to paying these bills. So they're like, oh, you didn't do this. You didn't do this. Because they, at this point, they've called her broker and say all the things that she hasn't done. And this is why the house hasn't sold. But with the further knowledge that you listed the house way too high after being advised. So they get into this thing and they say, okay, we're going to just terminate the relationship. In the midst of terminating the relationship, an offer comes in from a house, from someone that was shown a week prior, and they came back for a second look and decided, let's go, let's do it. So they sent the offer in. And she's like, I don't want to give them the offer because I don't want them to have the people's information so they can call them on themselves because we've terminated a relationship after you've done all this work and had all this time. And they kept going back and forth. Oh, we're rejecting her offer. You just told me 3 days ago that you were desperate for an offer. You got an offer in hand. Now you're rejecting her offer. Yeah. Come on, people. Make it make sense. But it's just like, unfortunately, in this business, a lot of people don't understand as real estate agents, we do all of this stuff. And then we get paid. Yep. Then we get paid.
But what I just don't understand, what I think what baffles me the most is that I have been the nicest. Like, I took a chance. I got you qualified. You want to start? I saw, she had like this antique business, and I was looking at her like, you should just try staging a property. And not only did I give her business of staging a property, I had her stage a property in a very prime section of Providence, in a very beautiful shishi section of Providence. Granted, the second one wasn't but it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. I've been around for 24 years. I know every agency. Why would you not want to get on my good side?
The partnership.
I don't get it.
It's about the relationship.
I said to her, and she's like, you're not going to pay me because this. I'm like, whoa. Nobody said I wasn't going to pay you. I'm like, those words never came from my mouth. My word, I am paying her because that's just who I am. However, she is going to talk to my attorney. She is going to submit an invoice like a normal business. I will pay you when you submit your invoice.
Yeah.
And then I blocked her on phone. I sent her here's my attorney, here's his info, give him a shout. Because the other thing is this, I want to know, once that property came back on the market, who called who. That's important to me. I need to
very
know who
important.
Because if I find out that listing agent called her directly, the hellfire, I am going to, pardon my French, effing rain on that person. Because here's the thing, I'm also principal broker of my office. So that means I can just write a letter to the Massachusetts and Rhode Island MLSs, and in our MLSs, you know how it says X amount of dollar, or X amount of percentage is a co-broke. I could, even if I have 2% or 2.5% or 3% to the co-broke, to the buyer's agent, in our MLSs, if I write him a letter saying Dream Living Realty is no longer co-broking, regardless with XYZ Realty, no matter what we posted, my office doesn't have to co-broke with them.
That's crazy.
I don't ever have to pay any of his agents ever because of this.
That's crazy. But my thing is, it's the bigger picture. And at the end of the day, I know in real estate, when we get checks, there's a lot of money involved. Sometimes greed is just way too much. It just makes people lose their ever loving minds. Like, are you serious? Like, what are you thinking? We're people. We're people. And if you in this industry and you're doing your part, we work our butts off. We work our butts off. We run people around. We help people get qualified. I'm damn near picking up curtains to make sure we go to closing. It's everything. Oh my God, we need new flowers. It looks crazy out front. Oh, we gotta get the grass cut. I gotta call my guy. He gotta cut the grass. All the things. Cleaning bathrooms, making sure things smell, air fresheners we're running around doing it. Oh my heavens. I have a kit in the back of my car that is for quick cleans. I've got Tilex, I've got the brush, I've got gloves, I've got erasers to come in and just scrub and make sure the house looks presentable when you come in the door. Spider webs out of the corner. We do it all. We do it all. We show up at soccer games. We do it all because we're invested. We are truly invested. This is not a pair of shoes that you're buying. You're buying a house. And for a lot of people, this is going to be the game changer for their lives, their families, and everything. So we're invested. I'm not going to say all of us. But there's a good portion of people that I've come across in this industry that are truly, truly invested in are here for our clients. We will sacrifice money. Done it plenty of times. Hey, you need a couple more dollars? And for people to turn around and spit in our faces, it's so petty. And it irritates my spirit. I gave a woman $1,700 at closing one day. She said, I'm saving. I'm not going to get my hair done. This is for me and my kids. We in a 2-bedroom apartment. This is going to change the game for us. I said, look, the builder's giving you this much. How much are you short? I can help you. What do you need? Because I want to see this happen. Do you know I sent her something one day. I sent her a pop by after she had moved in. I picked her up and took her to closing because her car wasn't working. So I picked her up and made sure she got there, brought her back, everything. She says, I sent her a pop by one day and she sent me an email and she said, you should stop emailing me because you really didn't do anything to help me get in the house.
Oh my God.
That hurt me to my heart.
This lady's mentally ill.
That hurt me to my heart. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
What? Are you serious right now? Like, I had to take a deep,
and their own guilt.
And Lisa Taylor.
I think it's their own guilt.
I don't know what it is. I just think she was just, and I mean,
I suspect it's their own guilt. That's why they're giving you an attitude because they feel guilty. And the same thing with mine. I think she's giving me an attitude because she felt guilty. I'm not covering the cost of the damn stuff. I'm like, nope. I would have previously, but now I'm not.
No, we're not. But I mean, it just amazes me how people can turn around and just spit in your face and just be okay with it. It's like, as at the end of the day, it's not even about real estate. It's not even about houses or any of that. It's about just being a good human being. You should just be a good human being to people.
I don't think people realize how invested we get because back in 2008 and 2009, when people were losing their shirts and foreclosing left and right, like I remember losing sleep and crying in my bed at night, trying to make sure that I stopped an auction, that I sent in the short sale and make sure like Wells Fargo wouldn't go through with the auction because the auctioneer was going to be on the front lawn at 2:30 and that's exactly when the bus drops the kids off at that exact same time.
Yeah.
Like bawling my eyes, I'm like, oh my God, I hope they stop it. Oh my God. And people don't realize when they have problems, a lot for the good agents, we absorb that and we're like, we make it our problem. Like, okay, all right, we're going to get through this, whatever. We'll figure this out. People don't get it.
They don't get it.
And that lady, what that lady did to you, that sounds like guilt to me. She felt guilty. Maybe she felt like she had to pay you back or something. And in order to bypass paying you back or whatever, in her mind, she figured she would be angry with you and make a complaint about you to justify her behavior or her not paying you back or whatever. That's shitty.
People
so
kill me
shitty.
with this. I mean, it's just so many little instances, but Lisa Taylor is in, and she can speak to this. We have a coach, a real estate coach, and the majority of the work we do with her is mindset. Because this can literally take you out. It could take you out. When you know you give so much time and energy and pouring into your business and the people that you're helping, and you're but truly changing lives. When things like that happen, it kind of like, whoa, wait, did I do something? Like, what is this? And then you have to think in your other mind, no, I'm a good person. There's just some crappy people out in this world. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just going to keep pushing on through this foolishness because you're just not my people. Knowing who your people are so important. And if you're just not my people and you don't like me, and you don't like the way I roll and do things, I wear crazy t-shirts, I wear torn jeans with chucks. If you don't like me, that's okay. Yeah, I'm never going to show up at your house in 6-inch red bottoms. I'm never going to be that agent. Sorry.
No.
Sorry. I have a southern twang.
Garage door that's peeling paint. I'll bring paint garage door that's got peeling paint that won't pass FHA for you. You know what I mean?
That part.
I'm very much a meat and potatoes. My clientele, as a rule, are the meat and potatoes clientele. You know what I mean? That's my clientele. As a matter of fact, I've dealt with the higher end, the multi-million, and honestly, they're pains in the ass. Pardon me. I know I shouldn't say that, but I mean, let's face it, they are actual pains in the ass. To the point where sometimes I sit here and think, is this even worth that time? I'd rather deal with the grateful people who are grateful and happy. They're getting in a home, they're building wealth. You know what I mean?
Those are the stories. Those are the stories that will literally stop you and just say, God, I love
getting thank you cards and thank you notes from clients that just sit there and make you cry. I love getting that.
Those are my absolute, that part. Those are your absolute favorite people who I don't think I can buy a home, but I really want to try. And the people who call and proclaim that this is their year to get a home, I'm here for that. Let's go. I'm here for that. Let's go.
Shit together. I always preface mine with, listen, I don't know what your FICO score is, but I got a client from a 540 up to a 640, and I did it within 60 days. So whatever your FICO score is, don't feel bad. I always try to put myself, listen, when the market crashed, I almost filed bankruptcy. My score went down to a 560. So nothing you say to me is going to shock me.
Nothing.
Anything can be fixed.
Anything can be fixed
in time.
With time, with patience, listening to what people are telling you to do. People have turned. She used to be a fire inspector. She was a fire inspector. She went through a horrible divorce, and at the same time she was going through the divorce, she found cancer in her breast. She was going through it. The maid on the other side wasn't kind. There was a lot going on. It was just a lot on her. And she came to me and she said, everything is a mess. And she said, I just want to be the parent to my children. She said, because I feel like I'm losing them because my husband has more money than me. I just want to be, I want to be able to take them out to eat. I want to be able to do the things. And she said, I'm torn with getting myself back together or trying to, make myself supermom. And I was like, you got to figure out which one will work for you. And we took her in. And this is why I tell people to this day, I love Lennar Homes. Don't know if it's in your area, but I absolutely love Lennar Homes. Lennar Homes in Maryland. I know other people in other states have horrible, horrible things to say about them. But Lennar Homes in Maryland literally snatched my soul. They sat down with her and they said, we're going to put you on a 9-month plan. Do everything we tell you to do. Everything we tell you to do. And she said, okay. They said, this is your house. Pick everything out you want in your house. This will be your house in 9 months. This is it.
Oh my God.
The 9th month comes. One of her daughters in college, one of the student loans popped up on her credit. She's in tears. She's like, I can't get my house. I don't know what to do. She said, I didn't know where this came from. The lender called and she says, no. You've done everything we've asked of you. We will hold your house. We only need 30 days to get this right. They got it right and she went to closing. Done.
Wow.
Beautiful home. She just had a birthday party this weekend she invited me to. She's been there about 4 or 5 years. That's the difference. Those, when you run into those type of people, I'll scream Lennar from the rooftops. Nobody has to say anything. You can tell me anything horror story you want about Lennar, all you want. That's the stuff I will scream from the rooftops. There are some people out here that do good stuff behind the scenes and they will fight with you if you fight. If you fight. Because I've got people that they get the list and they're like, oh, I don't want to do all that. I'm going to get another credit card. I'm going to vacation, travel, and do all the things. I'll get a house. It'll happen. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. You don't really want it. Show me the people that's ready to fight. Bring them to me. Because we're going to hang in together. We're gonna rock and roll together. We're going to get a house. But those are the people that I left the federal government 24 years and 6 months. Supposed to retire. Didn't make it that far. Couldn't take it no more. Jumped off the ship. It worked out perfectly for me. But those are the people that remind me every day why I walked out of that office and said, I can go do this. I can go help people. I can put people in houses, do things that I never thought imaginable. This is the good stuff. This is when it gets juicy. Love it.
Do you know that Yahoo just put out the top 20 least respected professions? Least respected.
Woo!
Number 4 was real estate agent. you pieces of shit. If you even knew
Were we
crap that we went through.
were we under car salesman?
No, we were before. We were before. They were number 5. We were number 4. Car salesman number 5. Realtor number 4.
Oh, I love it.
Gus was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" So yeah, so I was like, you know what? When people come to say to me, "Oh, I was thinking about becoming a realtor. What do you think?" And I'm just always like,
Okay, this is what.
Either you're gonna love it, hate it,
And jump out.
and here's the deal. Yeah, and here's the deal. You've got to be very, very thick-skinned, I think. I was not thick-skinned at all when I first got in the industry, but I worked with a lot of, like, mobster types. That is, I eventually grew a thick skin. I'm dead serious. When I'm saying mobster types, I'm dead serious. What are you doing? You called that person back? Like, yelling at the top of their lungs in the middle of the office.
Oh my God.
The stories, I always tell people, like, the stories, I could write a book on the stories. Craziness.
It's crazy.
But I can't, you can't, but it's just, you can't do that.
Yes, we can.
Actually, and you know what's really weird is that a lot of them are past. Oh, Lisa's taking off. Bye, Lisa.
No. Oh, Lisa's gone. Bye, Lisa. She has a headache.
Bye, Lisa.
Let me tell you.
Migraine white.
I did write a book. It's on Amazon. I wrote a book. It's called When You Thought You Were Going to Closing. All the craziness that has happened to me at closings, during deals, the stuff that's happened, the craziness. Yes.
I'm gonna send you have to autograph it. I want to autograph it for me.
I did. Because I was sitting in closing one day and one of my closing people looked over at me. She said, you need to write a book. She said, because I don't hear anybody tell all these crazy stories like you do. And I had some wild, I'm like, what is happening? I was at the land records office and I had a spoon because I was eating yogurt. I was trying to be healthy. And Lord, the people took my spoon. The man said, you can't have a spoon in the courthouse. And I was like, sir, I'm just coming here to see if the transfer has happened from the bank. Like, I just want to see if the ownership is switched. He was like, you can't take the spoon in here. I was like, now I can't have yogurt. Now I'm gonna be fat. What do you want me to do, sir? Make it make sense. He was like, what? You what?
I would have been like, do you want me to bring an extra spoon in for you?
Like what? And he was like, you're gonna be fat? Man, just go in there and look at. I was like, but you're taking my spoon away. What am I gonna do when I get a cigar? It's gonna look like a whole pig sucking out of the yogurt out of the cup. He was just like, do you want to come in here or not? I was like, fine. Forget the spoon. Forget it. It's just a lot of stories. And people read my book, and I went to closing with them afterwards. And the lady said, I'm about to make book 2, aren't I? And I was like,
I'm going to do that. I'm going to self-publish on Amazon.
yeah, just self-publish.
Self-publish on Amazon.
Yep.
My funniest story was, all right, so my hubby is an attorney in Rhode Island. So he had given me a referral. but it was a court-ordered divorce. Court-ordered. Remember, the judge said, it's going to get sold. Signed by the judge. Neither one of you are getting it. It's getting sold. So Frank said, did you want to take it? I was like, well, all right, because I usually don't like to get involved, because no matter how good you are, one side always accuses you of favoring the other side, no matter what happened. But it was client, and I'm going to change the names, but Frank's client, Frank's my hubby, who was still living in the house. Okay, great. So she wanted me to list the house. So I did. I said, okay, what's the dollar amount? I went in higher because she was on the low side. Okay, great. But what I didn't realize was that it was all a ruse and she didn't want to sell the house. And she didn't care what the judge said. I didn't know that in the beginning. So I said, well, I got to have an open house. She's like, nope, if you're going to have an open house, I'm going to be present at all of them. I had an open house, and she sat in the front porch in a rocking chair and like stared at everybody in the rocking chair that was coming into the open house. Then I didn't get any bites on it for like the first few months, but then for people that wanted it, directly across the street. They lived directly across the street. They wanted a bigger house. It was an older couple that was having. Look at Miranda. Oh my God, I'm telling stories, Miranda. It was an older couple home because their daughter was getting a divorce, and their daughter and their grandchild was moving in with them. So it was a nice couple. They were from the Azores originally. So very thick accent, very Portuguese, very thick accent. Awesome people. But it was court-ordered, and my client didn't want that. But she says, can you sell my house? And I was like, all right, great. Now, at first, I thought everyone was going to be happy. Like, okay, I got you a really great offer, and I'm going to sell your house and more money. So, blah, 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 blah. So, she didn't want to sign the contract. They go back to court. Judge makes her sign the purchase and sales agreement. Okay, I asked permission. Is are we all okay with me listing directly across the street, because that's the buyer? Now, at the time, we had sub-agency, and I made it abundantly clear for the purposes of this transaction, I am nothing more than I'm a listing agent. I don't represent you in this transaction. However, when you sell your house, that's something separate. I can represent you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. So I go to list the street. The bay windows face each other, and I get a phone call. I'm going to call her Mrs. Cabral. Ready? She's there, and she says, oh, Claudia, I couldn't understand what she was saying. And she kept on saying donuts. Oh, Nina, bring me donuts. I'm thinking, oh, she's bringing you donuts. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to come over and bring her donuts. She's buying my house. No, that is not what she was doing. Client was doing was taking her Monte Carlo and driving it on the lawn and digging donuts in the yard. She kept on saying donuts and dig the donuts. I'm like, you like donuts? And I can hear my client shuffling because she's an older woman. She goes out the front door. In the background, I hear, I'm like, what is going on? She took her Monte Carlo.
No.
And was digging donuts in the yard.
No.
Till the older client, the old lady across the street, my client would wait to see if she was looking in the window, see if she was doing anything. Then, when she noticed that she was looking, she went outside, was staring at her at the window, and pulled the trellis off of the bottom of the front farmer's porch, just ripped it off, instead of destroying the own property. Wait, upon final walkthrough, I had to do a final walkthrough with the old lady and the older couple and their daughter on this house. Remember, it was court ordered. You couldn't get out of it. She unscrewed all of the all the knobs on all of the kitchen cabinets. So when you go to open the kitchen cabinet, the knobs would fall off. I noticed all the walls were carpeting felt crunchy, and then I found a case of Aquanet hairspray where they were all empty. She sprayed Aquanet hairspray all over the carpeting, so it was all crunchy. She removed the washer and dryer, and then with a saw cut out a hole in the floor so that when you opened the closet to where the washer and dryer used to be, you looked down and saw right through into the basement. My craziest story. She took everything out, but she left one item. She left one item in her closet. Guess what it was? her wedding dress. She was going through a divorce. And that made me feel bad.
Was she mad about the divorce or the fact she had to sell the house?
I think she was mad about all of it. Like Maria's saying, she should have gotten into trouble. Could we have done something? Yeah, we could have withheld funds from her. But you know something? At that point, the buyers were like, "This lady is nuts. Let's just pretend we're not going to care because we're going to rip out these rugs anyways and put hardwood floors. We're ripping out the cabinets anyways and redoing the kitchen. So let's just move on."
I'm so glad they had a positive mindset because that's cuckoo. That is so crazy. And she wasn't going to be on the cul-de-sac anymore. So amen to that.
Oh, she's doing donuts. And she's coming out with donuts.
Oh my God. The donut story is gold. Gold. Donut story is gold.
It wasn't any discard. It was a Monte Carlo. It was like one of the older model Monte Carlos with the rims, the big wider wheels.
Baby, that's classic. Like, ma'am, how crazy are you? Cuckoo. Like, bless your heart, crazy. Oh my God. Ooh, she was special.
And she was convinced that her future ex-husband was hiding money from her. Hindsight, he was. We just didn't know it at the time. He was hiding money from her. And he was creepy as shit. One of the reasons why they were getting a divorce was because she caught him taking pictures of a 14-year-old down the street. Yeah. I could tell you crazy ass stuff. And I think eventually he ended up going to prison for something else.
Oh my God.
That's neither here nor there.
Oh my God. He went. Child, I love this. I'm gonna tell you, I have an aunt that she's on my team and she does real estate as well. My aunt is like, "Hey, where do they work? Hey, where's this? What's that?" And I'm like, I don't want to know anything about these people. I don't want to get deeply involved because that's when all the crazy start coming out the closet. And then I'm standing there and I'm like, now I know this about you and I can't unknow it. I cannot unknow it. So now every time I see you, I'm like, oh, shit. Because we had a divorce case recently. Heartbreaking. The parents lived with their child and her husband. And it got to the point, I don't know if it was mental abuse. I don't know if it was physical. I don't know. But the parent says, we got to go. We got to get out of here. And she's like, I'm coming with y'all. We got to go. And old boy was like, I'm not selling nothing. And all of them are in this partnership in this house, all of them. And I'm talking about beautiful home. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Everybody got their own space. I mean, it's laid out. Beautiful home. Long story short, the parents call. They say, you're not going to have us in a chokehold. You're not going to hold us hostage. They go buy another house. And they bought the same exact house, one street over, and left him in the big boy. Same house. Left him. So to this day, we sat down and had an appointment to list the other house. He's still there. And the courts are like, yeah, you got to sell it. Y'all gonna bring. He's like, well, if they leave, if your parents leave, we can be fine. And it was a mental game. Like if they leave, we can be fine.
Yeah.
And she was literally playing actress to the end. I was having heart palpitations when they were going to closing because I had to go to Chicago for a conference, and my aunt took over in the transaction. She took over, and I'm like, is everything okay? Everybody safe? Everybody good? Because I don't know which way this is going. And I'm like, when they got to move, I'm like, okay, do you guys need help? Everything okay? Like, how you packing the bags? How you getting out of the house? How is all of this happening? I'm like on. Do anything. And they were like, well, we have 3 cars. We have a 3-car garage. So everybody's cars are put up. You never know which house we're in. You'll never see the cars outside. And I'm talking the house that we secured, the person listed at $900,000 and it was way too high. We ended up getting the house for $840,000. They were in 30 days. The lady was out, done. But the parents, and I told somebody one day, I said, I want to be that type of parent that if my child is in that type of distress, I can whip that credit out in a checkbook and make things shake.
Go, kiddos. Yep, yeah, absolutely.
I was just like but it had me on edge because I was like, oh no, what's going to happen if he finds out they're moving? What's going to happen if he found out they bought another house? How are they going to move? How is everything going to happen? And, because they had a lot they were still mediating and working things out, and he just was not being agreeable. And it was to the point where I was like, this is going to get ugly. And it was getting uglier by the week as we were getting closer and closer to closing that he didn't know about. It was getting uglier and uglier. And I was like, oh no, this is bad. This is going to end up on the news. And I was in Chicago and I was like, somebody watch the news. Make sure nothing bad happens.
But it was in the parents' name, though. The house is in the
Yes.
parents' name.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't go after as a premarital. He couldn't go after as a marital asset.
But I think the saddest part of this was I think he's going to drag her to the depths of hell through this whole thing. He's going to screw her financially. He's going to take her down for spite, and that's so sad to me.
One of those things, like, what is it worth to her? Is it worth her sanity? Like, what is he after? Like, clearly she has the what do you call it? The stable family. She has the support system. I suspect he does not. Matter of time before it backfires on him.
Yeah.
But I would put security on that house, boy, oh boy.
I was just like, you got to be kidding. And when I check in with them, because that's just a little thing I do where I check in and say, hey, you guys okay? You need anything? Everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. They've got access to my contractors, all the good stuff. And he says, we love it here. And I'm like, I love it. That's once again, that's why we're here. That's why we do the things we do. But you're a little cuckoo crazy lady with the donuts. Oh, I'm not going to eat no more donuts. I'm just not going to eat donuts.
Monte Carlo. I was like,
I'm not going to eat donuts for a while after that one. That was classic. That was gold. That was gold.
I'm sitting at the table with this lady, so petrified. I'm
like, what else are you going to do? Ma'am, you got to sell a house. What else can you do at this point?
and I tried expressing to her, listen, we don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. This is court ordered. You don't do this? Violation of a court order. That's contempt. We'll put you in prison. What is it that you want?
She wanted him to act right, I guess.
But you know what? Why would you want that? Like, if I had a husband that was like that, acting like that, I'd be like, I'm out of here. I am out of here. Sell the house. Bye. I gotta go. That's gross.
But my thing is, at a certain age, I've had this conversation with different people. At a certain age, some people are like, how do I start over? What does that look like? What does that other side of life look like that I got to start over now? And I'm single. I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 50s. How does that look? I don't have the home. Where's your husband? Why aren't you married? Blah, blah, blah. All the things. There's so many things that, we take on for other people. Because I don't care about anything. I don't. I truly and honestly don't care. I think real estate has hardened me. Like we said, we came in, we were like Powder Puff kids when we got here. Now we're like, no, please don't do that. No
nonsense.
My husband told me all the time. He said, you have changed. I truly don't know who you are anymore. I don't know who this person is. And I'm like, you still like me? He's like, I'm cool with you. He said, you're just different. You're truly, and because we have to put the tough skin on. We have to.
Property, you're dealing with lots of money. People with lots of money. When there's lots of money and property and assets around, you see the best of people, worst in people.
Yeah, just like funerals.
It's almost like lawyers. Like
funerals.
Divorce lawyers. You can see the best and you see the absolute worst.
Funerals. My grandmother told me years ago, if you want to see who really treated somebody bad, watch to see who acts a fool at a funeral. So I literally go to acts a fool. It's a saying. They cry the loudest. They're so torn apart. They want to hold on to the casket.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So I literally sit in funerals like this because I'm waiting. Who's going to be the one? And my grandmother said, that's the person that didn't treat him right. They had so many things that they wanted to say, and they never got to the part. They misused them, abused them, stole money, did all kinds of things. She said, "That's the person you're gonna look for at the funeral. They're always gonna show themselves." And I was like, so I go to funerals and just watch people just to see what happens. It's pretty entertaining. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. I'm still bent out about this stupid stager that I was giving business to. I'm bent about the procuring cost. That was $10,640 that I could have used. I'm sorry.
But my question would be, when she said, "Just mail me the check," she think you were supposed to be mailing it to? You didn't know where the hell she lived, and she done forgot. She done moved.
Anticipate that good old me would drive all the way out there and hand deliver it. That's why. Because that's what I was doing. So I wanted to say, "Good job. Here's your check."
Because my thing would have been like, oh, she probably was waiting on the mail to forward. I didn't think about that. Hey, dear.
The mail to forward. But that's me so sneaky. That tells me you're sneaky and you're a liar. Oh, God, that sucks.
Probably a
I
couple
give
minutes.
business to a liar.
That's hilarious.
Who's your coach? Who are you guys getting coaching from?
We're with Krista Mayshore.
Oh, I went to one of her seminars. She's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know if I can handle that one. She was really expensive.
Yeah.
But how do you like it? How do you like it?
Like I said, not only was it real estate related, it was mindset related. I really needed her to get me out of those dark moments where things weren't going well, and how do you get past this, and how do I motivate myself every day to get up and do the things that we do, because everybody doesn't have that. Everybody doesn't have that, and they kind of just sit in this bubble. But she is super innovative, creative, and when the market shifts, we're usually ready. We're on top of it. Okay, we need to be looking at buyers now. We need to be looking at sellers now. You need to shift your business. You need to get in the front of people, and this is how you do it. And we collaborate. I would say this. Who the hell is ringing my doorbell at this moment? Her community is a community. We used to tell it. Fritter is part of it. Jane, that was on here last week, is part of it. Like the most giving people you ever want to come across. Like I can literally call just about anybody in the coaching program and be like, "Hey, I saw you had such and such going on. Oh, let me send it to you. Let me get it over to you. You need help? Let's collaborate. Let's get on the phone together." And yes, I will give her that. It is expensive, but it was an overhaul in my business that needed to happen. It was
it's like, if I'm not mistaken, it's almost like 30,000. Am I correct?
I don't know anymore. I've been with her 3 years, so I'm not sure.
Well, last time, I think it was a year and a half ago, or a year ago, I had gone to one of her day seminars.
Yeah.
And she was, at the time, this was really before TikTok took off.
Yeah.
If I was like 2,500, if it was like 7,500, and then no, maybe it wasn't 30,000. Maybe it was 20,000. It would have been $20,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But we were just coming off of COVID, so I was like, all right. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I still see her on there, and I was like, oh wait a minute. I'm like, maybe I will do it. But she's EXP, am I not? Isn't she?
She is now. She is now. She wasn't before.
Who was she before?
I don't know. That's a great question. I have no idea.
You guys are all EXP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that happened later. I didn't come to her under EXP. I came to her different. I came from another brokerage, and I needed a change. I needed something to spark my business. I felt like I was at that point in my business where I felt like I kept getting the same number over and over and over again a year in production. And I was like, okay, how do you get to the next level? Like, what's the thing? And no one around me could explain it. And I heard one of her sessions, and she spoke to it. And I said, that's the person I need to be with. She spoke to the thing that I was internally having. And I called up, and she will tell anybody the story. She thinks I'm always joking when I tell stuff, but I'm so serious when I say it. I didn't have it. I truly and honestly didn't have it. I said, but let me tell you what's going to happen, sweetie pot. I got 3 closings coming up And I said, I can give you XYZ dollars from these closings. Can that start the party? And then we could do monthly payments. She's like, and her team was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. And I was like, let's get it. Here we go. And I jumped in, and I jumped in with both feet. And I'm gonna tell you, it took a couple months because it was a lot of building of foundational stuff and getting myself. And I'm at a point now where it's time for me to jump again. So I've got to do something strange for some change.
Yeah.
I've got to do something, just a big shift. I got to do something crazy and courageous and scary to jump out there to jump again. Because I'll tell you, 1 month with her, not 1 month, in 1 month, she asked me to speak for her somewhere. And before you got on the call, you had to give, like, everybody kind of gave their stats. Like, hey, this is where I'm at this year. This is how many houses I've sold. And this is my difference year over year since being in this program. True life testimonies. I'm fine with it because I was living the life. I was doing really well in real estate, far exceeding my expectations for what I could have done. Because I had come to the realization in my short time in real estate, there's no cap. You want it? Go get it. You got to do some. You got to do some
Right.
big, bodacious, outrageous, crazy things to get there. And if you do it smarter, it's an easy ride. It's a fun ride, but it's work. And if you want to work. But I'm doing my numbers. I haven't been paid. I'm just working. I'm working my butt off. I'm not paying attention. I'm in the midst of my daughter getting married. I'm about to head out to Cancun. She's having a destination wedding. Everything is going on. It's the middle of the summer. I've got buttloads of clients looking at houses. I got listings going. It was crazy. And I went to write my numbers down. And I said, what the hell? I had made $94,000 in a month. I was like, what?
That's beautiful. That's sexy. That's the sexiest thing I've ever heard.
But here's the kicker, Claudia. As a federal government employee, I had made $67,000 $62,000 a year as a federal government employee. So to make that plus some in a month, I was like, they ain't never gonna be able to hire me again. I can't go nowhere and work. Who gonna do this? Where the check at? What check? This check? Oh no, baby, we can't do that. You want me to come back every day? No. Mm-mm. Me and Justine have this running joke now. You want us to come back here every day? At what time? And we can't go nowhere. We can't go have lunch together. We can't go look at houses. What? No, we can't do this. We gotta do other stuff. We can't go do a Pilates class real quick. No, I can't come here. I can't work. I can't do this. This is too much. You're stressing me out. You're stressing me out. I can't do this. It's
You work more hours.
It's stability. It is truly a stable thing to get a job every 2 weeks and get paid and all that good stuff. But baby, y'all lost me. I'm here for this foolishness. The ups and downs, the roller coasters. I'm here for all of this. I love it here. And I work my butt off to continue to love it and be here.
Sometimes I think it's adrenaline. People love almost like adrenaline junkies because this job will shoot your adrenaline like, you know what I mean? I shoot it right up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Day is where I sit here and I say to myself, what the hell was I thinking?
And people are like, you left the federal government?
It is just crazy.
I was like, yeah, I left the federal government. I wasn't doing anything. They didn't miss me. They put another monkey in that position to dance around. They were fine. And now I get to do the things. I tell people real estate allows me to do the things in my life, for my family, for myself, put us in positions that I never, ever would have dreamed of. That's what real estate does for me.
What would you say is your number one source for leads?
Referrals.
Yeah, that's what my.
Yeah, I make it my business to stay in touch with my people. Have events and all the client events. I send out cards and personal notes, and I do video tags, just checking on people, seeing how everybody's doing. That's my business. I get the phone calls. Hey, because I tell people all the time. I tell agents, for any agents that are listening, anytime you get a referral from a client that likes you, you don't have to do anything. People just automatically come to you. They just come to you. Hey, such and such told me you can help me buy a house. Okay, let's go look at a house. It's not like you don't have to perform. You don't have to do anything, prove yourself. They're like, they said you were good. You're good. Referrals are cold. It's crazy. Crazy. I do love new construction.
I'm hearing double. I'm hearing double echoes because a call came in. Because a call came in at the same time. I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna come back in because it's driving me crazy. I'll be right back.
So what do you guys have going on tonight? We've got 3 other people in the room. Claudia has jumped off. But what do you guys have going on tonight? Claudia is crazy horse, hilarious. We had too much fun together. And we just met last week. Isn't that crazy? Justine is cooking a lot of food. My daughter swears she's going to Justine's to get some curry chicken, right, Justine? She'll send a message somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, but no, referrals, and we love new construction. We're obsessed. We have so much fun doing new construction.
I hate dealing with contractors. Well, maybe just the contractors up here are different.
No, we love new construction here. I mean, because I think that's the game changer for a lot of people. The fact that they can buy a new construction home when they don't think they can even buy a home. It's like, what? And because we know our inventory, nice. We're like, I literally had a client. She's been a referral queen for me for years. She met me and she told me, hey, this is what I want to pay in my mortgage. So this is the type of house I want. Don't take me to no new construction communities. I ain't got that kind of money. She literally threatened me. Don't do that, little girl. So you find me a house, but all that new construction, don't do that because I don't have that kind of money. And I was like, well, what's your budget again? And she told me. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that's the monthly payment around there at the new construction place. So I asked my sales rep, I said, can you print me out a cost estimate, please? And show me the monthly average. He said, sure. So I called her up and I scanned it to her and I said, hey, can you look at this real quick? She said, what house is this? I said, can you meet me somewhere when you get out of church on Sunday? She said, sure, I'll meet you. She pulls up. She said, I don't know why you have me here. I said, trust me. The paper I sent you came from this community. Do you want to look at the houses? She told me probably a month later that she had been driving past those houses to go to her in-laws' houses. And she kept saying, one day I'm going to get to these houses. One day it's going to happen. And nice. They gave her money. They put her in a program that, got her extra money down. And she moved in that house. She's been there she was like my 3rd or 4th client when I jumped off the boat and left the federal government. So she's been there forever. And I've been gone out of the federal government almost 6-7 years at this point. I never keep up with the date. It wasn't an important date to me, so I don't keep up with the date. So I don't really know when I left. I just walked out the door.
What did you do in the federal government?
I was an admin. So I was an admin for almost 25 years.
Was it like the FBI or was it just what was it? Or was it what were you an admin for?
So this is haha. IRS. I worked at Walter Reed, Federal Election Commission, Energy.
Ooh, fancy.
I did private for a quick moment, but I stopped at Energy. So hopping around.
Under what presidency, if I may ask?
A couple. I was almost 25 years. It was a couple of them. Obama, the Bushes.
A long time then.
Yeah, I was there for. Yeah, I was a very long time. Literally straight out of high school. Straight out of school.
What do you call it? So you got out of there before Trump got in there.
I'm trying to remember if he was there yet. I think he was coming. No.
2016 is when he got in.
No. I was gone. I was already gone. I was already gone when he came in. So I had no blessed idea what was happening. But most of the places where I worked, anytime a presidential shift happened, it affected the office. It always affected the office.
I'm quite sure it did.
Because certain people in certain positions had to leave and other people had to come in because of that. It was a lot of political appointments. So it's very interesting.
to this day how we went from someone like President Obama to President Trump. I will never understand how that has happened. I will never be able to wrap my head around. I never understood how people just don't have a basic understanding of how the government works or what each of their platforms are. I never really realized how dense people are, how they lack critical thinking skills. So I also have, judges in my family. Frank is an attorney. So politics is something we daily talk about in this household. We thrive on it. We talk about it. It's just something we enjoy discussing. But when I tell you, we're all like scratching our heads like, what is going on? Like, what?
So I'm usually in the bed. I'm usually in the bed. Like right after this live ends, I'm going straight to bed because we get up so early to start our days. Let me tell you, that night I was on the couch like this. What the hell? Me and my husband were looking at each other. We were looking at each other like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, yeah, the dude that fires people on reality TV, this is what we about to get? Whoa, child.
Oh, it's about to get worse, FYI, because I just want to know, if you're not paying attention, it's going to get way worse.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say because all this stuff is going on now and they still letting it happen. I'm like, this is crazy that he get away with all this